Gonna be doing a deck tech video on Poe Dameron and Holdo. This is it's a pretty fun thematic support deck, and we got 28 points with taking ground and landing dock. Now I think the battlefield's kind of key with the power action of rerolling the die, as there's not a ton of removal in mono red without it being a trooper. And you know, taking ground will help you at least secure it, and you are playing a support deck, so it's going to play a little slower. So with landing dock, after any player plays a vehicle, that player may take control of this battlefield. So essentially the idea is that you're going to be maintaining somewhat of control of this battlefield, and there's some key battlefield removal in this deck. So we're going to break this down, and I'll show you guys what I built. As far as supports go, obviously we're going to include Black One with Poe Dameron being on the team. Black One has a power action, spot Poe Dameron, turn this die to any side. So consistently you're going to be able to get 2 damage with Black One. Now if BB-8 is attached, you can do that special, deal 1 damage and then roll it back in. Essentially do, 3 damage a turn. BB-8 is going to be the only support droid die. So the idea is to play BB-8 by himself, and then once Black One's out, you can action it and attach it to Black One. And on that turn, you're going to be able to ready it. You're only allowed to use that ability once per game. X-Wings, it's going to be a pretty good choice, especially with Holdo's ability, where her special reads gain 1 resource or play a vehicle from your hand, decreasing its cost by 2. So if you can start playing X-Wings for free and get a ramp going with at least, I would say, once 3 X-Wings come out, you got a lot of damage on the table. Because you're allowed to include 4 in the deck, and then the X on the die is equal to the number of copies of that support you have in play. A couple of other supports I have in here are going to be the B-Wings, and I like these just for the fact that it's a free activation at the start of the action phase. So no matter if your opponent's going to go first, the B-Wing's going to roll out first regardless. It's got some pretty decent die sides, especially those 2 shields if you have to start playing defensively. And the last support I have in here is Padme Amidala's Royal Starship. The focus sides, shield sides, and the resource sizes are great, and the fact that it can throw a shield on a leader character, which is Admiral Holdo, is what you're going to need to kind of keep her alive, as she's only 9 health. As far as upgrades, I've only included 1 upgrade in this deck, and that's going to be Poe Dameron's Blaster for obvious reasons. On Poe's dice, he has that special that reads, give 1 character a shield, you may turn another die to any side. So you can chain into Poe Dameron's Blaster, which is 2 damage to a character or 3 damage instead if it's attached to Poe. And also you could be chaining over to Holdo's special, which is the point of her dies to ramp the supports out, because it's decreasing vehicle cost by 2. Some of the tech I have to keep Poe and Holdo alive is Dex's Diner, single copy, 2 copies of Field Medic, and I put 2 copies of Unshackled in there just because of the recent surge of downgrades that's come into Destiny, with whether it's an Ewok deck or a Witch deck, which is, if anybody's played against the Possessed downgrade, you understand how nasty it can be. As far as removal go, as long as you're maintaining control of the battlefield, hopefully with landing dock, you got superior position, which is play if only you control the battlefield, remove a die, and doesn't have any value restriction on that. Another new card I like for Red Hero removal is Rebel Assault, and that's play only if you have 1 or more dice showing range damage, which between the X-Wings or between the supports and Poe, there's a good chance you're going to be showing range damage. It says remove an opponent's die, not showing damage. So even if it's, say, a high damage character rolls a blank or resource or disrupt, it's an easy removal And if you're trying to slow somebody's resource ramp, then this is a great card for that. Nature's Charm is another great 0 cost card for rerolls. It's personally saved me several games just getting the perfect reroll on an opponent's die and maybe one of my own. The another one I'm not too sure about, but I like, is Turn the Tables. It's a little expensive with a 2 cost, but play only if you have one or more dice showing a focus symbol. It says where you can remove a die showing damage, ranged, melee, or indirect, and then turn up to 2 of your dice showing damage. So it can be a good turn to swing really hard against your opponent if you're trying to play catch up. All right, some of the cards I have here are just some of the, I think some good tech just to help with ramping your resources and also finishing off games late game if you got a lot of supports out. So I'll start with logistics, which is, I mean, I'm sure you know what this is, but spot a red character to resolve one of your dice showing a resource, increasing its value by 1. And strategic planning, especially with all the ships in this deck, ready or an exhaust a support, and then it was eroded for that has no, or basically it's just you can ready a support that has no mods attached to it. And then light speed assault I include one of just for the possibility of your opponent having a nasty vehicle support out. So it's defeat one of your leader characters, discard a vehicle you control, then discard an opponent's vehicle from play and deal indirect damage to them equal to the discarded vehicle's combined cost. So that's yours and theirs. And another reason that's good, if you had to use that card as like a last resort, is Holdo has that ability. After the character is defeated, you may ready a vehicle. So you're just getting another activation and use out of one of the vehicles you have on your board. And if it's late game, then hopefully the idea is to have at least 3 X-Wings out. And lastly, I have Focus Fire. Really great card. And just resolve up to 2 of your dice showing range damage against the same character, increasing each of their values by 1. So 2 X-Wings out, you're getting 6 damage off if you got the range showing. 3 X-Wings out, you're getting 8 damage. So that card can be just a huge swing. This is just my take on a fun thematic support deck using characters from episode 7 and 8. If this is something that you think you'd like to try out, go ahead, build it, play it, tweak it, and feel free to leave us a comment in the video on how you played your particular deck. So I hope you enjoyed this deck tech video, and hopefully we can do some more. We're just trying to find time here and there to get videos out. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, and if you like this video, like it, subscribe, and share with a friend.